Welcome, Speed Gaming fans, to the 2023 Speed Gaming Live Final Fantasy Randomizer Race Semi-Finals Lower Bracket Kumo versus Odraun. With me in the booth today is Saracen with our tracker socket. Saracen, what are you looking forward to seeing with these opponents who are fighting for the honor of fighting you?
Well, I'm looking forward to scouting the heck out of these guys. Yeah, it's going to be a good show. These runners, first off, they put together a heck of a run, each of them, going through this tournament. And they have agreed to some spiciness. Spicy indeed, as we have some gentlemen's agreements, some things that we couldn't put in the flags, but then we've got a required Warmac and a required Sky Orb in the gentleman's agreement. Got to talk to Hooray Dwarf, got to carbonate Bubbles. Got a, was it Shuffled Astos, right? I feel like there was something else. Procgen Waterfall. So we got some spice.
A little bit of extra, kind of nice to see. Put some levity into it and an extra challenge to these runners. We know how good they are. What about their blursings? Because it looks like it's going to be a little less spicy there.
Well, you know, I feel like it is... They were wondering in the race room if these blurses were a sign of horrible things to come. As the fighter has plus 20 hit points, the black belt has plus 40 hit points. You know, little suspicious when you get extra hit points sometimes. You're wondering what's the turn here. Our red mage starts with plus 10% hit. If we recruit the white mage, it will have Invis 2 in a level 8 slot. And the black mage, if we recruit the black wizard later on, will have plus 40 vitality, which will be the most survivable black mage you see in quite some time. They're concerned about Fun Dead, and as both of these racers had Fun Dead yesterday in their respective races, you know, you gotta hope for the best.
We don't blame either of them for being suspicious. We're just hopefully going to see something fun either way.
So for the fans who are keeping track, yesterday I rolled the seed for Kumo and his opponent, Jesus the Frog. And so today, Kumo requested that I not roll the seed. Because that one was vile. I think it was the most violent one we've had this entire tournament.
Definitely check out the VODs on Speed Gaming 5 after this. Both the race for Kumo and Odraun's race were very brutal, but that like 6 wipes for each racer, Kumo and Jesus the Frog, before getting the win.
They were both fantastic matches. They were great views. And it looks like the timers are counting down. We're about to get off. Danny did not roll this seed, but I did threaten them with that good time. In the fact, Thavian Hawk was our seed roller today.
I don't know if I saved them any trouble, though. We shall see.
That's pretty garbage white magic and fast, I guess, in the black magic. So
I mean,
level 1 is not great. We will be leveraging the shirts or whatever our shop or our free AoE caster item is.
It was a Thor hammer, it looked like.
Fantastic. Thor hammer is a wonderful caster item. And a small knife. Excellent. I love it.
I mean, technically, the fighter could use the Thor hammer, but no, that's the black belt's weapon until the black belt's a punch cannon.
No, I don't think that the fighter can use it until promotion, which will not happen this seed, unless you get the improved Thor bonus, which several weeks back I posted a practice seed that I said had a dilemma, and the dilemma was that it started with a +2 Thor hammer and improved Thor on the fighter. That was
carry you far into the seed.
I finished the seed with the fighter. And I beat people who did the black belt strats there. It was actually marvelous. That looks like a white wizard available next to the king here.
with the herb and the stick from the king and the princess, and yep, that is a picked up caster for Kumo.
I 100% understand. You got Harm 2 to catch you up on sweeper magic for a little bit, but you also just want to get the levels early on your secondary casters. But yeah, the Harm 2 on the White Wizard is very helpful.
Especially since you only had the one caster item sweeper at this point.
Yep, and it looked like Odraun also picked up the White Wizard into the blank slot, so...
No one dropping any party members just yet. Not really seeing the need for it, but hey, that extra Invis 2 immediately pretty much makes up for it.
I am way more excited at the possibilities of harm spells doing things, and unless we see a reason, right, for a reason to remove the White Wizard, like we find Nuke at level 2, and, you know, I think it's just a good pickup generally.
Well, I can say, unlike Odoron's race last night, they do not have Nuke at level 1. Fast is pretty good, but not a sweeper.
I have a very low opinion of Fast in this flag set.
It has made up some ground. I mean, Kumo was pretty tied up with his opponent, and his opponent was down with a 32 black belt using Fast to make up for the hits, and it really came down to just how deadly the fun dead pack was. So that Fast can make up for levels.
Pirates giving us the Ruby today, which we have Edamame on Kumo's side. Fantastic. That is a key for sale.
It's only 7,700. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, you know what the problem is? What do you sell to get it? Like, you can't give up the Thor hammer right now. That is terrible level 2 white magic, except for wall.
At this point, I think they might even bother taking a trip to Matoya's if they're really desperate, but they're probably just going to continue and know that the key is back there, because that's a key for pickup in close proximity to the check for Canaria Locked. They can always come back for it.
Yeah. Pickle's calling to sell the Thor hammer. There's not enough sweeper other than... I guess we just did get Fire 3. Also, how funny is it that the White Magic Shop and the Inn stayed in their vanilla locations?
I mean, it's neat and all that they're shuffled, but they still haven't implemented the one where one of the buildings suddenly becomes the caravan.
Oh, Kumo's going to do it, but what I just saw that's very interesting is Kumo saved... Kumo saved... Oh, he's going to save after 2. Okay. I was wondering if he was going to save check to see if it was something really good, like Canoe or Floater or something like that. And then if it was something like Slab, just reset and still have the Thor hammer. But he opts not to do it.
For a second there, Odraun was going to the right. Was he going to the pop to try and pop grind for golden levels? But it looks like, no, he's just not going all the way up to the top of the peninsula.
Weird location to try to farm for that, but you know what? It's fine. That is the Adamant, so that is immediately something you can follow up on.
That routes well for him, and it's very nice to see some divergence early, so I'm good with this.
Honestly, I would have liked the play either way. I think that this works out great. We're stocking up. We have the money to do things now, which is always a rough thing at the beginning of a seed. Now, what is kind of a question, though, is how do you get your early levels to the point where the black belt can be self-sufficient on the grind? Because that Thor hammer was your ticket, right? Because until level 12, your black belt is completely worthless. And then it's really like 21 is where they're self-sufficient most of the time. So, you know, we got 7 to 16 levels between now and there.
And of course, those sweepers, having those backup characters, they eat up they do damage. They help with the getting the kills on the enemies, but they eat up experience. Hey, Kumo doing that agreed upon hello to the Raid War.
And Kumo
Both of our
forgetting
racers
which
agreed
one
to do
he...
it.
Kumo forgetting which of the items he picked up because he was so focused on the Hooray Dwarf.
Understandably so.
You see that moment of frustration that he walked all the way down there to. That was the canal, which is very important, but now you have to question, was it Thorhammer important? And
yeah,
it's a bit of walking and everything that Kumo has saved over Odraun in that regard.
Well, Odraun has got that leveling, has got that gold, bought the key, is going to go ahead and get that adamant. Meanwhile, Kumo heading south, do you think he's going to go straight to Marsh? I'm assuming he will, given the fact he's going to try and... Well, oh no, he's resetting out of that encounter. Those giants are pretty annoying, or ogres.
Yeah, you know, when 3/4 of your party gets tranced, you just kind of like, eh.
He is going Marsh immediately.
Marsh immediately is a good play. I don't remember if he purchased all of the heal potions that he could. One thing that I maybe would have considered doing is just taking a quick peek into Northwest Armory, see if either of the spike tiles there was good. But I understand either way.
An early fast check. Oh, that is a huge chunk of gold. That was 12,000 gold out of that free chest, and triple Hooray Dwarfs from Odoron. That is all the money they should need for at least early magic, and a fourth for the road.
Yeah, talking to the Hooray Dwarf was one of the gentleman's agreement items, along with carbonating bubbles and required sky with their required Warmech turned on.
We always appreciate some mandatory robot chicken.
I appreciate it all, and as a founding member of Bubble Soda Company, I 100% will get behind any additional carbonation of bubbles.
Both of our runners going top with Marsh. With Marsh randomized, the incentive item could be at top, could be at the bottom. It just can't be anywhere that is locked.
With the early key, I might consider checking the lock too, unless it's up here.
That is true. There are 2 more trap tiles down in Marsh locked at the bottom.
These ambushes are just frustrating. Like, all of the time that Kumo saved by selling that Thorhammer have been made up in just bad encounters. Like the RNG here.
Yeah, and I can... He has the camera on, so we can see on his face just how much it's irritating him. And there is the ship.
I ship it.
No warp, so no fast exits. Well, no exit either, so... This will have to walk out.
That's okay. You know, I think both of our runners are probably happy to not have to walk down to Marsh Basement and, you know, try to decide if your incentive item is behind a seafood party platter at the incentive chest. Like vanilla incentive chest, that is.
Very true. And now we've got the herb to make the turn in at Elfland Castle. We also have the ruby to get access to Titan's Trove and Sarda. So I have no doubt that we're going to see that check in the castle and then straight out to the Melman continent. With the rod in hand, they might even try and go ahead and take care of Earth while they're at it.
They don't have the magic to do Earth yet, so I would doubt that play. And I think both of them realize that right now. We'll see if Elfland changes that perception. That is a crystal. It gives us a check before we leave the Inner Sea. I'm big on that.
If that crystal turns into the crown, I'll just laugh.
That would be hilarious. Quad X, Ice 2, Saber, kind of whatever. This magic is terrible. What did you do to these poor runners, Thavian?
I gave them very thick and resilient party members.
Harm 4. Okay, there's a real spell. Both of them having the money to pick it up too. Wow. This. All right, so I think everybody knows at this point, I have a very significant bias against any magic on the second page, right? Like, I don't remember anything that exists in 5 through 8 90% of the time. So to see that Fire 3 and Harm 4 are going to be like the sweepers of the seed is just pain.
At least they have damage that affects everything. That harm is effective.
Yeah, kinda.
Odraun up, going ahead, turning in the crystal. Matoya, meanwhile, Kumo in to get that crystal from the prince. It's nice seeing these fetch quest items get turned in early, because the sooner they have the fetch quest items in hand, the more experience and gold they get with their grind when they find it. And there is a black mage.
And a TNT. Now, I think that Black Wizard's going to be sitting on the bench here. Nothing is in black except for Fire 3. And the Red Mage does that just fine.
Exactly. Plus, the Red Mage can actually hit things if things come to very bad situations. Now, I'm assuming they're really hoping this is a floater or canoe, because that would unlock most of the rest of the map. So, I'm thinking it's probably the slab, just because that'll get rid of the Melvin continent more or less all at once.
That would actually be pretty clutch routing. You can think about it in terms of, like, how much can we get away from any given place? Like, leave it out for the rest of the time. There's a canoe. So, alright, we actually still have 3 basically free incentives, like, you know, without doing a full dungeon. So, I think we chase those down. Those being Crescent Lake, Sarda, and Titan. That could give us plenty of stuff, but, you know, at the same time, man, it's feeling a little rough.
Yeah, but we do know they need all 3 of the remaining dungeon access items, because they need the Oxale to at least carbonated bubbles, and then they need the cube and the chime to get access to Sky, because they all have to clear the Warmac.
It's true. It's true.
The likelihood of a full clear is more or less 100% at this point.
Also notable in the first 4 levels is we didn't have Exit or Fate, or Exit or Warp. Either of them.
Very true. And Nuke was also noticeably absent. Odoron most definitely loved having Nuke last game.
We get the bottle and an Opal Bracelet +1, which, yeah, you toss that on the black belt. You want them to have the survivability.
Best armor it can equip.
It sure is. This, you know, rolling plus, it 100% is. Now, what are the likelihoods that we see, you know, Crescent Lake gives us the Saber Bonk and Sarda here gives us the ribbon or something like that? You know, items that are nice, I guess, thanks, maybe, but, like, not really progression. They're not an experience boost. Hey, it's the ribbon!
Well, that's a really decked out and pretty her black belt all of a sudden.
Yeah, that black belt will live through the grind. Kumo is going to check the Dwarf Armory here, which, I don't know, it seems like a lot of steps and a lot of time to get money and a Pro Cape -1.
Yeah, especially given the fact that he'd already checked, he saw Pro rings were for sale, I think in either Melman or Provoca. And that's basically the only good armor-ish that he could get for any of his party members. So you rarely do pick up much in the way of armor items from stores with this flag set.
Hey, special call out. Kumo replaced his fighter with the Black Mage. Or the Black Wizard, rather.
What?
Now, I understand this play. And it's a little bit fear of what could be coming, but also a little bit of it's way easier to kill a Black Mage even with +40 vitality than it is to kill a fighter. Warp, level 5, slot 2. It is learnable.
I mean, it would be learnable because of the promoted Black Wizard, but it's still nice to see it finally found.
Yeah, it helps.
Odraun, currently having made his way into Earth Cave, checking the Hall of Giants tiles, finds the Grorshark Sahag pack.
That is one of the packs of all time. The Grorshark is not terrible, but it's always thick.
Yeah. Kumo actually using the warp that he just got, potentially going to go ahead and leave and then come back in. That way he can warp out to the Sarda side of the cave with that model.
If he has charges.
True, and I doubt he would. But either way.
He wished. Not. Yeah, it's really hard to have charges of that this early.
Odraun making the early play. He did this in his game last night as well. 2 ordeals instead of going to Crescent.
I think this is a reset.
Yeah. Understandably so.
Okay, so all the time that Odraun had just, been scraping together over the past, 8 minutes, just vanished. Because of how far he has to sail. On the that just wiped out so much time, and it's very sad, but I get it. Okay, I guess spreading around the equipment is not a bad play on Kumo's side. It's just, I understand either way. It's the same pack. Odraun gets hit with the same pack and is just like, nope, we're out.
And counter manipulation activate. That's why I saved before I landed. Now to see if ordeals is truly an ordeal. Fingers crossed.
I mean, what do we get to blame you for tonight, Fabian? We get terrible magic. And... oh, this actually could be a very pleasant ordeals, once we deal with Medusa.
The Troll Deuces, yes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that early 4-pillar room that can jump you straight to the end, bypassing other rooms, can be very nice.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm thinking is, this was literally the 3rd room. You've got entry, and then a split, and then this. Mummies, no thanks. Mummies are on my bad list forever.
Yeah, they don't seem to be what they were last night for Odraun, which he's happy about, but he's running away either way.
Yeah.
Again, Speed Gaming 5 last night. People need to watch that after this.
That was a very easy pillar maze. 2-1-1-1, I think, was the answer.
Yikes.
Wizards, not good. Leave now. Okay, they're not hitting as hard as they could, but... oof.
They still hit hard for their size and the quantity they come in early on. And this isn't even an early game dungeon, so they can hit pretty hard.
Yeah, I had to think they're all over ice. There's our crown. Okay. This is a pack you should take. Yes, do this.
4, with Fire 3, these are spells that do good oh!
Ah!
Yeah, they are that bad, but it's the Whiz Mummies this time.
The Whiz Mummies will run away from you, theoretically. That black belt hanging on for dear life.
And the first challenge has been found.
Oh, Fabian. Good job.
Kumo getting out of Earth, going ahead and save what he got from his short little grind. Whether he's going to continue down in Earth or not, or is just going right back in. Looks like he's going to the other grind tile check at the top room.
I completely understand. The Grorshark Wiz-Sahag is a deceptively challenging tile in terms of thickness. Wiz-Sahags, when they roll up, are terrible. Blue D's. Kumo knows all about Blue D's.
Hopefully they're not as spicy as they were for him yesterday, but then again, he also isn't at Sharknado floor and not facing equally deadly or frosties as well.
Herbie B. Yes, indeed. The thing is, the Blue Ds last night were the payout for Kumo. Like, he 100% got his value out of them. We're checking Northwest. I like it. We're going to save before we check Northwest. I also like it.
Getting those early grinds, I mean, you've got a good chunk of items now in your inventory, so the level gains will be fast coming. And
Agama. Okay. That is a very, very good tile if it works. So we have 45 damage into it and an erase, so we know that the number is under 345. Nightmares could be a good way to get rid of the mages, but we're not yet there yet. We definitely still need our mages around for the moment.
The Agama actually have anything, or is it just an Agama?
That's another question, because Kumo took it down before it did anything last time. But here you can see just how pathetic a black belt is when they're sub 21. Odraun gets out of ordeals, is about to turn in this crown, and probably going to find the Agama immediately after. It's the floater.
He is the leave immediately with that floater. Oh, never mind. He is checking. He is checking. He is going to find it.
So, shuffled Astos coming into play here. we do not know where the Astos be. Alright, we found the Nightmares.
Found a Vorpal to throw off the floor off of Sky 4.
Did it roll down?
3, I should say. Yes, -2.
Excellent. Alright, White Wizard down. That's the first party member for Odraun. Good. Kumo almost there on the Black Mage as well. Needs to swap that equipment around, IMO.
Make sure everything is stacked up where it needs to be. Wow, that Odraun is getting a lot of hard hits on his party. Loses both the casters. But man, is that extra that fighter with that +20 already looking thick?
Yeah. Such is life. Getting a little bit of stream issues on Kumo's side. Let's hope that irons itself out soon. The black mage is down, the red mage is down for Kumo, so we're moving. But at this point, they're equivalent levels, and Kumo is behind an ordeals. The ordeals will be a lot easier because those whiz mummies will run away from the black belt that he is inevitably going to put up front by the time he goes there.
But the big thing with that ordeal is not only is it the ordeal's time to navigate, and the levels gaining navigating, it's the crown and the floater acquired, so this grind is actually going to be faster for Odraun just on that level gain multiplication. 10% per item, I believe?
Yeah, for the Agama, that's going to amount to 600 experience roughly, which, sure, I mean, that's material, but man, it'd be really nice if Kumo's stream stopped acting up.
Then we could see and compare.
Yeah. Odraun's black belt is starting to hit. I think two-shotting, that's level 18. We're getting real close to this being an effective grind.
And Kumo is freeze-framing on a solo black belt grind himself.
I don't think Luffy's internet hamster has moved time zones, which would be required for it to have migrated to Kumo's PC. However, I've heard of worse things. It looks like that was a save real quick outside on Kumo's side now that he's got the party down. I dig it. Notable, this Agama is not got the pillow hands. It's hitting pretty significantly, even with that opal.
Yeah, those have some very sharp claws on those evidently rounded tipped fingers.
Link shot with the deep cuts, calling out the Satella view.
Hey, the beauty of playing a condensed map version of Legend of Zelda on the SNES via Satellaview with better music? Don't underestimate it. Okay, Odraun is in one-shot mode.
Yeah, it was pretty clear that that was going to be the case as soon as he crossed the 21 threshold. And, yeah. There's no absorb. These things are made out of tissue paper, but they still got hands. Like, 2 hits, 55 coming across in that, and yeah, not great. But more than adequate.
Yeah, with 35 more pots to go and counting, he's got enough to keep him going, grinding up to the point at which that absorb is going to build up, and he's going to take that much less damage. The absurd absorb and magic resistance growth of the black belt showing itself.
Well, the absorb part will only come into play for these runners after, I want to say, 36, if they both have that equipped. The Opal +1 should be, I think, 36 absorb. The ribbon giving you an extra 1, so 37. So it's really not even going to be a factor for the grind. It'll be a factor later on when we get to keep a mage alive as well as the black belt.
I'll be honest, I totally forgot the Opal bracelet was even in play because I'm used to seeing that kind of armor available with these seeds.
Yeah, who purchases armor in these flags? I don't know. It's not me. If you see me in an armor shop in these flags, that means that I think there's a real problem.
Or you just need money and you found some Opal gear you'll never be able to use.
Right, like, alright, if you see me on the buy screen, that's where the problem exists. Okay, it looks like Kumo's stream's starting to become a bit more stable, and it's actually less of a difference than I thought in terms of the total payout. It was like 58 for Kumo and 61 for Odraun per Agama.
It's like a 3 or 500, something like that difference. So yeah, not going to make much difference. It's still basically 1 level per kill and a half or so at the high end.
Yep. Oh, 56. Yeah, 56 and 61. So it's yeah, negligible. It is like a fight every 10. Yeah. Linkshot getting the actual numbers.
Very much appreciating.
Indeed.
Now, Kumo has the floater, or does not have the floater. Where do you think he goes? Does he go to Ordeals after this? Or do you think he goes to Crescent first? Because he also has the canoe. He might think he want to go Waterfall or Ice Cave, I should say.
That's a really good question. I'm not that far into Kumo's head, but I do know that the Ordeals meta remains strong for a lot of our runners. So it could be an Ordeals play. It could just as equally be the, hey, let's double dip the far side of the inner sea. A lot of the play around Ordeals, though, is the fact that if you have decent sweepers, you can get decent levels in there, like just incidentally on your way through. And, you know, when you are in a position where you've got your grind done or close to done, Kumo, you need to heal, buddy.
Yeah, the big heart shows up sooner if you're at higher levels, but when you're in the 10-digit or double-digit instead of triple-digit levels, you probably want to be up a little.
I was worried about an ambush and then turn order being enough.
Yeah, that's still over 100 damage if that were to happen.
Yup. That's 36 on Kumo's side, and we're right about 40 on Odraun's. So this grind is coming to an end very soon. 39, okay. So yeah, we're within like 2 levels, 3 levels, somewhere in there.
Oh yeah. As far as Odoron's routing goes, he's got the floater. He's gonna go get that. I'm assuming it's gonna be Crescent if he hasn't already stopped there, and then probably straight down to Gaia with the bottle in hand.
Yeah, if I were in there, if I was in Odraun's shoes, it's Crescent, Gaia, Cardia, determine route from there. And the only way that I deviate from that is if Crescent is the slab. And then I translate slab, Cardia, Gaia, Lefane. Right? Like, that's at least the routing to me. And Gaia, oh wait, we had the key for sale, so we have the shop item. So it's not like you're going to see a double incentive in Gaia.
Odoron getting the advantage of the big bulky black belt at the front of his party there. The Sahags just said nope and let him go.
Yeah. Our quick check of the healing pot situation, and Kumo he's calling it good on this grind.
Heck, he's going Crescent Lake.
I feel as though part of the decision for Kumo was that he ran out of heals.
That is an understandable choice.
Taking the regular dock because it was there, but man, River Dock's so good. Alright. Odraun going to give us the first view of our Crescent Lake incentive item. It is the Saber Bonk. Who cares?
Some extra power on the already extra powered being, or some armor to a party member that doesn't need any more armor.
So, to me, the only times where I'm interested in using the Saber Bonk in this flag set is if I get one of the alt final fiends where I can't tell what the boss actually is in it. So the Snake Pit or Whack-A-Garland, where I have to have my sweepers go up first, right?
So, Lit 3, Nuke, Quake, and Lock 2, they're at Crescent. Level 6 magic has some nice things.
Astos
but it's level
in
6.
a bottle, yeah. We get the slab from Astos the Fairy.
Level 6 is stacked at Life 2 and Cure 4 as well, so...
Ooh.
Nice to see Odoron did not try and land and go and Oompa Loompa himself like Kumo did last night.
That created one of the most memorable clips, I think, that we've had this tournament. That is a chime from Cardia, so that is hard required for their situation here.
Everyone knows the dragons have the best things. So at this point, that leaves us with a waterfall, the turn-in for the slab, and what else?
What else indeed?
Ice. Ice Cave, yes.
Yep, ice. That warp is not learnable by the red mage. Womp womp. Alright, Kumo making the ordeals play. This will be so much easier than it was for Odraun.
Yeah, those whiz mummies won't be as big of a threat to a body as big as that black belt.
Also, shoutouts to the black wizard who lifts, who has more hit points than the other mages.
Maybe the black mage is from the Harry Squatter universe. The mage who lifts.
The warp comes into play as Kumo realizes that he went the wrong way the first time. Glance and sleep.
Those Medusas truly are trolling.
Right? Quad X2. Oh boy. So Odraun going into ice after finding out that his red mage can't learn warp.
And
That's
without having seen exit either, so...
Yeah. That's a feeling right there.
Doesn't need to check any of the spike tiles. Finds the wrong eye there, but he does need to check all the chests because this is again a randomized chest location.
All right, super important call out right there because we saw the Phantom, right? We have a good reason to believe it is not Fun Dead because that Phantom only hit for 155. The Phantom gets juiced if it's in the bosses. And so, yeah, we don't have a whole lot of reason to believe that at this point, which is good. It's the best news.
Yeah, maybe we'll just see Sahagenwagon instead.
Sahagenwagon is a real concerning prospect. Warmech and Friends also real concerning prospect. Theoretically, Double Dragons, if they both roll super, bounty thick, they got all the absorb in the world. I'm a little concerned about that too.
There is much to be enjoyed, and we are just getting started.
Yeah.
Hard to say it, but this early, and we're still far from seeing everything. Hey, it's the good eye.
Hey, both eyes hanging out. This is the better of the places to see it, too. I like this a lot better than Slip on a Banana Peel Land.
And goodbye, eye.
That moment of panic menuing of why isn't it saving? Oh wait, like, there's just a moment of I haven't restocked things lately. He's out of soft, so his save items aren't in the right spot. I've been there.
That we have to appreciate the flag that was implemented that automatically sorts the inventory.
It was such a contentious topic when it came out, too. It's like, the expression of skill of having heal pots at the bottom of the menu and always seeing the loot up front. Pardon, but... like...
We have vanilla incentive item.
Lol. So that warp matters. However, we also know at this point that everything is important. Like, every location needs to be checked now because of Sarda and Crescent Lake having the duds and getting the rod early. So, like,
yep,
hooray!
They only need 2 orbs, or 3 orbs by the flag set, but by rules that they themselves have implemented, bro rules as they were, they have to carbonate bubbles, which means they need the Oxale, and they have to take on Warmech at the top of the Sky Tower, so they need the cube.
Yeah. So, side note, this is just, me spitballing because I'm a goober like that sometimes. Maybe rather than saying required sky and carbonate bubbles, they could have just said, how about no volcano? Like, we're going to do all the bad dungeons.
We would appreciate that, but I think they just want to go, and Volcano is really the most go of all the dungeons.
I think I'm going to suggest it to whoever wins this match.
What, for the match that you face them?
Yeah, just no volcano. If they want extra spice on top, sure. Wow, so Odraun getting his party absolutely leveled in this dungeon in the not great way.
Well, at this point, he really just wants to fight a fiend, whatever the fiend is, get the orb, and then knock out of it and never have to come to this side of the continent again, which really is the only reason he's here, is just it routed that way for him.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And from an incentive standpoint, Odraun's really hoping that slab turns into the cube, and that the waterfall has the Oxio. Hey, it's Rubicon. Farewell, Rubicon. Oh, whoa, living through that.
Rubicon is Rubithick.
Oh, he hadn't gone all the way to 42. Okay.
Doesn't have those extra hits. I see Rubicon and I just think Rubicon, but that's because I've been playing too much Armor Core 6, which is a thing.
I've heard good things about that game. Whereas I picked up Starfield, and I'm like, there are parts of this that are fantastic, and then there's so many things that I have issues with.
Yes, the barren expanses of planets that aren't populated in even the level close to a Skyrim or a Fallout world where you occasionally see some rad roaches or something, but nope, it's just a moon.
My bigger issue is that everything seems built around fast travel, but that really seems like it was a cop-out at the end of development. There is our Oxyale coming from Lefane.
Both our runners making it there at the same time, Odraun and Orb up.
And Kumo is going to replace the Red Mage with the Red Wizard. Also, Odraun does that. As we have the Lefanish Superstore, we can just get the magic.
Yep, everything that isn't at Gaia and on-rack magic shops, I believe.
Just Gaia. We have the on-rack magic here. But it was that same continent exclusivity deal.
Having to buy all that magic again, a little less painful with the Superstore, understandable move, plus you get that access to, well, chunkier, more magic. I mean, that's about it. Honestly, I don't know what the Red Mage gains over the Red Wizard, or the Red Wizard gains over the Red Mage, other than just access to more magic, so.
That's pretty much it. The Red Wizard just gets additional slots that they can learn.
Odraun back out onto the on-rack continent, about to give us our look at our first proc-gen waterfall. I do believe last night's game, Odraun, or the waterfall they had to deal with, had a complete loop left to right.
I mean, it's so close to being the complete loop left to right in vanilla, because you can see it from the other side. Oh, this was just easy. That is kind of the meta of proc-gen, is you always want to be looking up because doors are always on the bottom edge.
Yes, it makes for some interesting map rewrites when we do the flipped floors.
Oh, Red Mage, funny enough, asking about weapons. Yes, the Red Wizard can use the Vorpal and like the defense sword and maybe a couple other things. But, I mean, anytime you have a Red Wizard swinging a weapon, you already know that you're having a bad day.
Well, Odraun in full go mode has that cube out of waterfall. Meanwhile, Kumo not going to waterfall just yet. Going to go ahead and just take care of carbonating bubbles.
You know, having the warp charges here, also very nice. Able to carbonate, warp twice, be right back at the stairs there. Both of our runners are going to have that availability now, because I believe that the Red Wizard was able to learn that warp. The Red Mage could not, but I believe the Wizard could.
I do believe as well. We shall see either way, but we get to see the first carbonation of bubbles in many a race this tournament.
I was very pleased earlier when our week 1, day 1 of Fall League had carbonate bubbles as the bonus point. There it is. 1 time, 2 times, fully carbonated. Oh, Odraun does not have warp. Okay, maybe the Red Wizard doesn't get to learn that slot after all. This is a minor time loss. You know, keeping in mind that Kumo is going to have to find that loot in ice still, but is going to have the benefit of warp to get that.
True. But Kumo also hasn't gone to waterfall, so he needs the cube as well.
Yep.
So Odraun does have that advantage in navigation that he can sacrifice here with the lack of warp, as much as it hurts.
Yeah.
And both of these runners know exactly how painful this sea shrine can be if you get unlucky.
Yeah, the ghosts. They're a pain. I'm getting called out. Yeah, apparently the Red Wizard can learn all 4 slots of level 5 black. Again, level 4 magic is where everything stops for me. Nothing above that exists.
I'll be honest, I only ever remember the level 5 slot 3 is not Black Wizard, not Black Mage learnable, because that's the vanilla warp slot.
I just don't trust that my mages will have slots above level 4 magic. Like, maybe they will. I don't know. That's like maybe end game when they're 13, I guess.
We have a Black Knight at the bottom of the waterfall. Final Fantasy II represent.
Kaplow, that white wizard is on the floor. Not so dangerous to the black belt, however.
Yeah, the black belt's swollen up. He just flexes his biceps and the spear just gets stuck and he rips it out of his hands. You are all welcome for that mental image. Kumo Orblit on his way out, gonna check waterfall, get the cube out of that. Meanwhile, Odraun has made his way there, gonna get that fast off just because, and let's see how a fasted black belt does. 1900 damage, job done. Odraun houses out and heads out. He is on his way to the final dungeon, gonna find his way up sky and deal with himself a Warmick. Ooh, early access to T-Rex. Unfortunately, that's not early in the encounter table, but well, fortunately, he doesn't need to grind it. He's just gonna take the levels to be happy. I'm honestly shocked the blue stake didn't run away, because the blue stake is shockingly fearful of high-level punch cannons. It's a big beastie, but it understands its limits.
Well, there is Kumo's cube.
That puts Kumo an ice cave away from go mode, and he's already dealt with one fiend. He will most likely deal with Volcano. In fact, I would not be shocked if he goes Sky now and then routes Volcano and Ice Cave back to back.
Yeah, that seems like the most natural route.
And he is indeed. So he's following Odoron up through the sky. Or up into the sky. And the Medusas are, as ever, trolling. I like that, choosing to punch, run, run, run. If the punch goes off, it's almost guaranteed to kill. If the run goes off, it's free to run away. It makes sense. When there's only one target and it's likely to go down in one shot, you might as well take it for the time it would take. Now, we do not have Sky Maze enabled, so this is going to be a straightforward, do they go in one direction and the other? It looks like we're going left and up, perhaps, for Odraun? Nope, he's going left and down because he is a heathen.
Down is a very strange choice to me, just because you know you have to go up for the bridge. So, like, you save yourself the input potential bonk by going up.
I mean, it is bufferable when you get that transition, but it just kind of makes more sense, because up is going up into the sky, so you might as well go up. Kumo goes left. Does he go up as well? He goes up. Yay.
Alright.
I saw some nachos. We're going to see this big green dude named Warmech standing guard.
McDonald's, we have arrived.
Akira Toriyama wants his design back.
Kaboom.
And the black belt on Odoran's side sends it flying right back towards him. And what is our Sky Fiend? It is Jin. Who himself has fast. But I believe the black belt with fast is going to do more damage. 2144. Bye-bye.
That's a big hit.
Kumo, meanwhile, takes care of Warmech. goes on to fight Jin as Odraun is on the full go. He has access to to Topher.
The gentleman's
Sub-hour
agreements
so far.
have been fulfilled.
Well, all but one of them, I do believe.
Yes, this was important. There was a special agreement that there had to be just a little bit of tapping of the Topher. I'm glad that yet another of my memes has caught on.
It did give me the thought, why can't we implement a flag where you have to ram the airship into a location to unlock the door? The battering ram flag.
I think it would be difficult to implement, but that does feel very on brand for Final Fantasy III, where your first airship you have for approximately 2 minutes, and then you run it into a rock to clear a pass. You can't get it very far off the ground. Yeah, you gotta plow the road. That's just how it is. The only reason this airship is here is for you to run into a rock with it.
Now, what do we have? Is it the Undead Party Pack? Nope, it's the Sahagan Wagon.
That's scary. I have feelings about that. Okay. Stab doing his job up front. Good job, buddy.
That Harmful coming in clutch, dealing with most of the hags.
The attempted glare. That
3 in 256 chance that would actually affect him.
Alright. This looks like a probably foregone conclusion. Oh yeah, it's foregone. It is gone! And with that, GG's Odraun finishing with an official time of 53:30. Moving on to fight me.
Well, let's see if we can get Odraun in for interviews. We are joined by Odraun. GG's.
GG, Odraun.
That was a seed.
It wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Those Wiz mummies, though, they weren't nice.
This is true.
Were they worse than the mummies?
Not from the last seed, no. Those Blaze mummies still haunt my dreams.
So you ended up. I was actually shocked when you had the floater and you ended up checking the spike tiles and found that Agama. I thought you might have just booked it out of there.
I figured since I was in the area already, I might as well check them so I didn't have to like loop back around and take the extra few seconds that might make a difference.
Yeah, it definitely worked out for you.
I'm 100% in favor of that decision. And, you know, honestly, you started your grind within maybe a minute of Kumo, but you had 2 incentive items over him for that entire grind. We didn't get to see much through Kumo's slideshow section of his stream. Unfortunately, the stream just decided not to play nice. But like you had 2 items over him for the extra experience. It was like 500 a fight. Basically a bonus Agama for every 10.
Yeah, and that was quite a few Agamas, so...
yeah. So
it was a grind found and done.
Very true.
So, just thinking about the early game, there was one piece of divergence that I thought was very interesting. And it was Kumo sold the Thorhammer to buy the key, and you opted to grind enemies outside instead. What was the thought process there?
That early magic was not great, so I wanted to have an extra sweeper item in case things went bad somewhere. And I mean, it worked pretty well to help get that Agama grind going.
True enough.
Magic did not get all that much better. I think Harm 4 ended up being one of your best possible sweepers.
Harm 4 and Fire 3 were my best sweepers that I found. I saw a nuke, but I still had the red mage at the time. I couldn't learn it.
Yeah, it was level 6. And that is GG on stream for Kumo, second place in the race. Race time GG time of 1 hour and 2 seconds.
The race time doesn't count here because there was an issue with his live split integration. So his on-stream time is his actual official time, 56:49. Which, you know, big on that. It also, you can see the timer is messed up on Odraun's side. The official finish on Odraun's was 53:30, but... And we're joined by Kumo. GG's.
GG's.
We're just talking about the fun times in the race time room, trying to figure out why the timers wouldn't stop.
I was trying to figure out. I had to actually load up the website to actually get it to stop. So the integration must be off on the live split.
Something's up.
Yes, I dropped frames. I just noticed that. I dropped 4% of my frames.
Yeah.
Yay, internet.
It was during your grind, so it was kind of not that big of a deal. Like, it was the least interesting part of the seed because you'd already established that you could kill an Agama. But it did make it interesting to try to figure out what exactly was happening as you were like a minute and a half behind.
I was trying to figure. I was thinking about stopping at 32, and I should have just stopped at 32. We didn't know what was in Topher.
Yeah.
How much did you prefer the Sagan Wagon over the Undead Party Pack?
I preferred the Sagan Wagon over very much. Like, the last two matches I've done were Undead Party Packs. They weren't very fun.
Yeah. Odraun got the tip-off that it was probably not Fun Dead, but I don't know if it was recognized in the moment. And it was that the Phantom tile was at the right side of Ice Incentive floor. And it only hit the Red Mage for 155. So it didn't get the usual steroids that you'd expect from a Fun Dead.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's hard to recognize in the moment.
I did Ice last, so I just kind of didn't check anything.
Well, you had Warp, which is a utility Odraun did not have.
Yeah,
GG,
having to
Odraun.
do all of Ice was not something I wanted to do. GG's, Kumo.
I tried to leave Ice for last, and it was last. I was like, oh, well, there's my loot.
Yeah, this was an entertainingly full clear seed between the gentleman's agreement to do basically everything except Earth, and then seeing the ribbon from Sarda and the Crescent Lake Sages giving the saber bonk.
And that really nice opal bracelet and Titans.
Yep.
Yeah, the grind starter kit from Titans and Sarda.
I didn't even equip that on my black belt. I was like, whatever.
I mean, Agama's hit pretty hard when you're sub 30 black belt.
Yeah, that's what potions are for, though. You just gotta put them in the first slot and just cram it down the throat.
You need to get the beer hat with the double straw and the can holders.
Yes, there we go.
That or a
Have
camelback.
Have fun facing Saracen there, Odraun.
Yeah, we're gonna have a grudge match of the people that Pickles knocked down into the lower bracket.
It is funny that Pickles gets a rematch with one of us.
Oh man, I honestly never thought I was going to get this far into the tournament. So
Same here. You're
You
definitely slogging it out. Well,
You both have been doing an incredible job, so I applaud you both.
thank you.
with that, I am no longer a duckling.
Yeah, I had a conversation with both of these gentlemen last night, as the rules of the duckling program indicate that you can't participate in the derby if you place top 8 in a major tournament. And while Kumo, this puts you squarely as top 4, and Odraun minimum top 3. So yeah, both of you guys are graduating. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And shout out to the run that you guys have both had. Like, you have not had easy opponents. Each of you has taken out at least one person with the champion role. So, like, that really does say a lot about the progress that you've made in your practice, in your work during the tournament.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, I don't have a whole heck of a lot in terms of other questions. Thavian, did you have anything else?
Are you ugly ducklings, or are you going to become real ducklings instead of swans when you leave the flock? I don't know. Ducks or swans? What's your choice?
See?
Or are you geese just because you want to be contrarian?
Aren't we platypi?
Yeah, I mean, you get the full-on mammalian upgrade. Strange mammalian upgrade.
We get the poison claws and the ability to lay eggs while being a mammal.
Yep. Still keep the bill.
The interesting fun that is this community. Anyone who hasn't been made aware, feel free. FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You'll be able to join up the duckling program that has been mentioned before. So replace these two in our duckling program. Join me.
I think we should move on to our final thoughts then. We'll start with our winner, Odraun. GG's again. Your final thoughts.
I was a little annoyed when I found the eye tile in the ice after already doing my grind. But otherwise, thank you guys for commentating. Thank you, Socket, for tracking. I appreciate everyone who watched, and looking forward to another fun game coming up.
I'll hit you up for scheduling soon.
Alrighty.
Kumo, on your way out of the tournament, but with a stellar performance the way through. Your final thoughts.
Thank you all who participated in the tournament, making what it is, what it was. Thank you, Odraun, for beating me and revenge my loss to Saracen. Beat him, have a duckling in the last finale. Thank you for Speed Gaming for allowing this to put this on and allowing us to use your channel. And thank you for Saracen, Thavian Hawk, and Socket for running the booth, and tracking and calming. You guys are amazing, and all the people in chat. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. So.
All right, Thavian, your final thoughts.
Thank you to both of our runners. You guys have been amazing. Trials and tribulations have been real, and Saracen, don't go easy on them. I would say go easy on them, but don't go easy on them because they have to feel challenged. They're no longer ducklings.
Well, they get to keep their duck tag until they decide to change it over. They can keep it until the end of the tournament. I'm not a stickler on that.
As the man who leads the duckling program, it is your choice to command.
Well, I mean, I'm running on inherited rules with that top 8 thing, which I'm still in favor of it. It's just it's literally Kumo and Odraun are the second and third people that I know of to have ever triggered this rule. And the first one was not Youngme, and that was in Winter Tournament this year. So, to my knowledge, I'm the only person who's had to have the talk of, hey, you're not a duckling anymore? Which, you know, can come with some mixed feelings. But with that, let's wrap it on up here. So, do want to say thank you to both of our runners, Kumo and Odraun, for putting on a great show tonight. Always love spicy gentlemen's agreements and spicier flags. So that was something that was greatly appreciated on my end. Thank you to Thavian Hawk and Socket for hopping in on the crew here with me, and for Speed Gaming for hosting this tournament and the race tonight. If you're interested in learning more about the Randomizer, come check us out at FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. There's a link to join the Discord, as well as the Randomizer itself, all of our documentation. And certainly come into the community. We are a friendly bunch because the game is not. And if you want to add the spectator role to yourself, you'll get notifications whenever we have one of these races on a restream partner. Additionally, Duckling Program was mentioned, but that's a couple months away yet. In the immediate, started literally a few hours ago today, Fall League has kicked off, where you will find the spiciest of flag sets, where we show off some of the newer features of the Randomizer, do some crazy things. This week, we have no magic shops, only item magic. And that is an experience to run and to watch. We have some exciting races coming up all along with that, as well as the match between Odraun and myself, and the winner of that match against Pickles and Beer to wrap up this Speed Game Live online tournament. But with that, I want to thank you, chat, for coming out, hanging out, watching the match here. I'm sure that our runners appreciated it too. And have a great night, everybody.